All right, listen close. I need you to forget most of what you think you know about survival. I'm about to declassify some intel on a plant that's been hiding in plain sight for thousands of years.
You know, people think empires are built on gold or on armies. They're dead wrong. The real empires, they're built on biology, on a single crop that can literally raise a city up from the water.
And this right here, this is the key to the whole operation. What you're looking at isn't just some simple leaf. It's a piece of highly advanced biological hardware. A modified stem totally redesigned by nature to act as both a pharmacy and a power source.
Okay, let's dive into the first file. To really understand this plant, you have to understand the people who cracked its code first, the Aztecs, and the impossible city they managed to build.
Now this right here shows a total clash in philosophy. Our modern approach? We look for the easy way out, flat land, stable soil. We want to conquer nature. The Aztecs? They operated on a completely different directive. Their gods told them to build where they saw an eagle on a cactus. That wasn't a suggestion. It was a command to adapt, to work with the natural world, not against it.
And wouldn't you know it, they found their sign on a swampy, marshy island, a logistical nightmare by our standards. But for them, that was it. That was the foundation. Their entire food system, their whole civilization was built around that one cactus. And you know, this is a deep survival strategy we've seen before. It's like when enslaved people smuggled okra seeds braided in their hair, carrying a tool for survival and a piece of their old world into a new one.
But this plant wasn't just for building cities, it was for healing. Aztec healers used it to treat something they called sugar sickness, a name that tells you everything you need to know. The medical term we use today, diabetes, actually comes from a Greek word that means to siphon. It perfectly describes that feeling of energy, of life itself, just passing right through the body. The Aztecs saw and understood that exact same process centuries and centuries ago.
And this is where their genius becomes so clear. Inside that cactus pad is this thick, viscous goo. That goo, it acts like a biological regulator, a filter that slows down that siphon of sugar into the bloodstream. It stops the energy crash before it even starts. Let that sink in. They had a natural fix for what is now a modern plague.
Okay, let's get into the specs of the plant itself, because to really get it, you have to understand there's a fundamental glitch in its botany. This thing isn't what it appears to be.
I've said it before, and I'll say it again. These are not leaves. They are stems, completely modified and repurposed. Think of it like this. The plant hacked its own evolution. It redesigned its body to become a living canteen, a biological battery built to store water and nutrients to survive the harshest deserts on the planet. And all humans had to do was figure out how to tap into that power.
So you have to be asking, if this plant is so powerful, why isn't this common knowledge? Well, that's because its history was deliberately covered up, buried under a historical name game played by colonizers to hide a supercrop in plain sight.
Just look at this timeline. The Aztecs knew what they had on their hands. They called it food of the gods. That's a powerful name. But then the Spanish arrived in 1521. They couldn't wrap their heads around it. They saw the fruit and called it tuna. Yeah, like the fish. And the green pads, little limes. They didn't just rename it, they stripped it of its power, erased its identity with these trivial, misleading labels.
And make no mistake, this was not an isolated incident. It was a pattern, a standard operating procedure. They did the same thing with the sweet potato. Enslaved Africans recognized it as something similar to the yame from West Africa, so they called it a yam. The Europeans just slapped on a new label because it fit their cargo manifest, completely obscuring its real story and importance.
So why does any of this declassified history matter to you? Right now. Because in a real-world survival situation, this plant isn't just food, it's an energy bank. It's survival's ultimate power source.
When everything is on the line, the absolute last thing you can afford is an energy crash from a sugar rush. You need steady, reliable fuel. You don't just want food, you want a siphon fighter. This plant gives you that slow, steady release of energy that can keep you going when nothing else will.
All right, here's the field protocol. Step 1, disarm it. You have to carefully, and I mean carefully, scrape off every single one of those needles. Step 2, manage the goo. Cooking it is the easiest way to handle the gel's consistency. And step 3, integrate. Mix it into whatever you're eating, eggs, a stew, doesn't matter. It'll absorb the flavor and supercharge your meal. So let's just put this all together.
What we're talking about here is a piece of biological technology that built an empire, a medicine that can fight a modern plague, and a top-tier survival tool that's been hiding in plain sight right under our noses for millennia.
And we took this absolute powerhouse and turned it into a decoration for a windowsill. Just think about that. What other classified knowledge, what other secrets are hiding right there in your garden? I mean, when you really stop and think about it, now that's absolutely wild.